Well, first of all, I just want to say that there are two things that Microsoft said I can't say. That's the release date and the purchase price, so let me do both right now. I promised them I'd say that. They were like, you're not going to say that. I'm like, okay. The Marvel Universe Online is a little different because it's the entire universe. There is nothing that we cannot touch. And what we are trying to deliver with the Marvel Universe Online game is a vista that stretches from New York. We're just working right now in the Canadian wilderness, in fact, that particular area. So one of the great things is the geography of the Marvel Universe. You'll be going everywhere as a character in it. So that to me is really exciting. We are, especially in an online universe, which can develop and react to current events within current continuity, but also stretching and going into the Wayback Machine and getting a lot of little bits of trivia and other things that hardcore fans will really appreciate.
And then, Rob, as one of our what's the process you guys go through?
Well, we are trying to keep with modern Marvel continuity as much as possible, but at the same time, kind of a motto of mostly Marvel, because there are certain things which have happened, especially recently in the Marvel Universe, which, if we immediately carried it through, there would be a loss of iconic characters or places or even plot lines. So for the most part, we're trying to keep with Earth 616 continuity, but at the same time, we're trying to recognize that not everybody is so into Marvel that only the... For instance, if you had a game where, say, Kingpin didn't exist, because right now he's kind of not a major player, that would be strange to a lot of people. So we will have somebody like a Kingpin. That falls into the mostly Marvel rubric. And what we are trying to do to take advantage of this huge swath of information is that we are laboriously compiling a database of information. So essentially anything that the official Marvel handbooks don't cover, this is what the database covers. So we read entire series. So for instance, I read every issue of FF and took down the name of every invention, took down the name of every place, took down the name of every NPC, anything, no matter how trivial, could have appeared in one panel. And that goes into the database. So this allows our artists, our mission designers, our zone designers to draw on this incredible mythology that Marvel has already set up. And so you will find pretty much playing through the Marvel Universe, it's one big Easter egg. There will be no item, there will be no resource, there will be no character that you see that hasn't appeared somewhere in Marvel history. Believe me, we'll be running plenty of contests for people to see, you know, hey, do you know where this particular character appeared? It's going to be great stuff.
And Rob, just, you gave an overview of why Spider-Man Brown, we'll pass it on to you guys, so thank you.
All right, Jack, this question is specifically for you. In massively multiplayer games, you typically have characters that are, you create your character and you're a hero. Whereas in the Marvel Universe, you have many, many, many different heroes of many kinds. So, on one hand, how do you make the individual character that a character or that a person creates into a hero, if that's the way you're going to do it? And the second question is, how are your Marvel characters going to be interacting with the players of Marvel Universe Online?
Well, I think at least with some prior experience with superhero IPs, I think we know how to make an individual character feel like a hero, to answer the first part of your question. We are doing some things to make sure that a player feels a little bit more like the city isn't quite as crowded with heroes, so we are doing some things like that. The latter point, you will be doing lots of things with Marvel IP characters. You will be interacting with them. They will be guiding you throughout the city. You will be fighting alongside them. And who knows, maybe you might even be playing as them. But there are lots of ways. You will be constantly interacting with all of the major characters and lots of really minor ones in the game.
Two-part question for Statesman. One, how good do you guys feel that you twice indicated Marvel in that you kept City of Heroes and now they're paying you to do their own game? And two, how are the powers going to work?
I'm sorry, you said the first question. There's nothing I can say, but it's funny how the worm turns. The second part is how are the powers going to work? We're not revealing any specifics, though of course I know them all, but I can tell you that a major focus on this game, like it was with City of Heroes, really, is moment-to-moment gameplay. And making sure that we're not sitting there with the 360 controller and with the, playing with the keyboard, playing with the 360 controllers, making sure that it feels good, it feels right, executing. This is going to be an action MMORPG. Probably like nothing that's been seen before. I have not yet heard of any MMP thus far that is being developed in parallel on a console and PC. Only ports. That's the only thing that I know of. And nothing like this has been tried before. And the level of interactivity, the level of action, again, it's far closer to a console game than anything else.
Jack, are you going to have multiple characters of Wolverine playing at the same time you see him through the city, or is it going to be...
Well, let's just say I'm more than aware of that. And I already got sued for it with City of Heroes. Little joke there, you guys. I'm more than aware of how pleasant it would be to see Wolverine or 105 and 106 and 107, so that in playing IP characters and allowing players to do it would have to be under certain situations where it was appropriate without destroying the integrity of the entire game.
My question is also for Jack.
Okay, we're going to have no prizes for the people that ask questions to other people, but please feel free to ask questions to Jack, as well as the other panelists. Thanks.
Okay. Sorry about that, but I'm really excited about it, so I just wanted to ask about it.
Sure.
Overall, I've heard just rumors from my friends, and what they're telling me is that you have access.
Your friends, they're really knowledgeable about working big studios.
Well, this is what they're telling me, so that's probably wrong, but I'll ask you.
I always love that, by the way, when I walk into a comic book store, and especially just people talking about Marvel Universe online, as if they knew. They have no idea who I am, and they're telling the comic book store owner, and wow, that's amazing that you would know all this.
Well, I'm just hoping. Overall, what they've told me is you guys have access over about 50 years worth of comics.
Yeah.
And so, according to their rumors, that you could play in different crossover events, that you're going to possibly be able to do World War Hulk as well as Civil War, and maybe even Marvel's Secret Wars from way back when, and you could possibly have access to all that. Is that true?
We certainly have access to all of that. That is Marvel, anything we want to do. Marvel's been really great about this, in fact. They included us in a writer's retreat to make sure that we would know what Marvel's planning in the future. And as for coordinating events, all of that is on the table. And all of that is stuff we talk about. And believe me, from Secret Wars to Atlantis attacks to Civil War, I want to tap into all of it because obviously I'm a big fan. If anybody knows me at all and has read any interviews, I am a huge comic book fan and know a ton about comics. So more than Mark Waid, I stumped his bum. But he challenged me. I didn't know why he did that. So I really want to make sure that all of those things, what are the dead obvious events, storylines that people want to have access to, and it's up there on my whiteboard, and we're going to deal with it. I'm going to play this simple.
This question's for Jack. Sorry, I'm sure I'll buy all of your games, but
of course, hey, if you're in here, you're going to buy all these products. They are great. You can see Iron Man, by the way, at the Marvel booth. It's there right now. And the same with Spider-Man Predator Foe is also there. So I played all of their games, certainly all the Spider-Man games. I even bought Rise of the Eternals. So I did cry, but and rest assured, I'm buying Iron Man first half. But yes, go ahead.
My question, and you probably answered this kind of, but I'm sure it's being compared to City of Heroes a lot.
Yeah, sure.
So what is it that's going to make people go from City of Heroes to Marvel?
Well, to be honest, I don't want people to think that this is a sequel or anything different. I want people to keep playing COH and Paperboy. Sorry, I just thought that was funny to say. I want everybody to buy 2 subscriptions. I think, obviously, the main draw with Marvel is the IP, because you are going to be playing in a universe that you're going to recognize from the comic book world and to a degree from the movies, too. So being able to, meet J. Jonah Jameson and interact with the Avengers, or be able to go find out about the secrets of Weapon X for yourself, I think is a huge draw in the Marvel game. What? Okay. And also the fact that it is going to be console action-oriented gameplay. The City of Heroes is certainly fast-paced. I think you'll find the gameplay, we've kicked it up a notch to take from Emmert, and really focused on that. A lot of interactivity, taking console-style combat mechanics and bringing it into the MMP world so that it's not click A and pray. Very, very, very different. I think those are the things that are going to set it apart a lot from City of Heroes.
Okay, I have a question for everyone out there. So it's a little different. For Jack, for Iron Man, is there going to be different armors for him, like War Machine? For Jack, will there be? Is this an action RPG? And also, is there going to be a subscription for that and downloadable content? And for Friend of Foe, how many characters, and is there any other modes besides just the usual, tandem player? And last but not least, for Kudo, I love fighting games. They're my favorite game. I'm almost 40 now, and I've played like every fighting game. But
moaning that goes on about, I don't feel superhero enough is just, it's mind-numbing, really. And players would just love a button that said "I win," and push it, and they do it. But the challenge in our game is that we can't put the same number of critters on the screen that a single-player game can, because we have to deal with lots of other players playing simultaneously. It's a very complicated reason why, but it just takes up computer time, basically. And there are limits. So you have to work your way around it with the type of foes you face, with the weapons that they have, so that the players have a clear feeling that they're doing something that a normal human could.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, in regards to the fighting game, give a ballpark figure.
First of all, Jack, did issue 10 really need to go live just as we're all leaving to come here?
Yeah, believe me, I need to get on too. Yeah, that wasn't real well timed, was it? Yeah, I guess I got a yellow positron about that. Yeah, that was it. But we try to get stuff out as soon as it's bug-free and try to get to the players, because frankly, you guys paid for it as quickly as we can. But yeah, this was a case where maybe that wasn't right.
Alright, and just for all of you, I know, I'm just wondering about some of the challenges, because people, when they play a superhero game, they want to be like, I'm the strongest person out here, I can shoot lasers, I can fly, I can do anything. But again, you don't want to make a game where people are just plowing through everything and there's no challenge and no thinking about it. How do you sort of balance this out to make a really good game?
Jeff, I think you, in your demo, I saw a great way that you handled this issue with Iron Man, and your guys really walked through it.
Yeah, I think Iron Man's a great answer to that. I mean, I think I share some of the frustrations that sometimes when you play superhero games, you don't feel like a superhero. That's what people are very conscious of.
Yeah, with Marvel Universe Online, do you plan on having any player versus player or team-up ability, co-op type stuff?
Well, again, we haven't talked to anything specific, but those are, to be honest, no-brainer MMP mechanics. I will neither confirm nor deny them, but they are certainly, people expect them.
So I know that. Let me put it that way.
All right. Also, do you plan on using the chat pad that just got released with the 16?
Yeah, that's an interesting bit of technology. We are playing around with that. But we understand that not everybody's going to have it, and what chat communication is going to have to be accessible to people who don't even have that pad. It is really cool. Sure, I mean, we love to use it as technology, but then again, it's not a required element.
Thank you.
How you doing? Just a question for each person on the panel. How big and broad will the game world be in each of the games?
How big of the game world's going to be? So we got covered a lot of
Different
things.
cities, different countries.
So Jeff, you want to start? Go down the line with
Yeah, all over the world, but focusing on famous Marvel locations instead of real world. So, for instance, Germany isn't exactly a hot spot in the Marvel universe, so that's not someplace we're going. Mostly, to be honest, probably we would lean more on the fictional than the non-fiction locations.
Thanks.
Hi, my question's about the fighting game. I was